Hi, everybody. I have a question for you. Have you ever heard about the story of the chocolate girl? Yes? No? Okay, great. So today, basically, I'll explain you the story of the chocolate girl. So a good friend of mine who explained this story too. Her name is Khadija Bint Abdullah. She came from Mauritania, and since she was young, she was craving about traveling, meeting people, and doing connections. But unfortunately, where she lives in Mauritania, in West Africa, she didn't have lots of money. But with a lot of persistence, she could find an internship and move abroad. So she was passionate about the Spanish language, because in Mauritania they speak French. And she was like watching those movies and hearing the musicality of the language, and she loved it. So she decided to backpack. So she was like backpacking in Costa Rica. Nothing on the backpack, it was raining, pouring rain. No umbrella, nothing. She stopped at the middle of San Jose in Chinatown. And she said, okay, I have to find an umbrella. She went to the store and she heard the lady speaking in Mandarin. So she could have asked her in Spanish how much does it cost. But she said, 这个雨伞多少钱? The lady was like, what? Okay. And she screamed, 她女儿，她说汉语. This lady, this black girl, speaks Mandarin. And then we're like, a ton of all the family were like, who is she? And basically is how she got the umbrella for free. Good for her. And then she also made connection with the amazing Chinese community in Costa Rica. So how cool is that? She was in a Spanish-speaking country, speaking Mandarin. Amazing. So after this experience, she was craving to know more and connect to more people. So her next adventure brought her to another Latin America country, which is Guatemala. She heard a lot about the Mayan legend, and she was willing to know how that would work. What about those indigenous languages? So she went there. She had a friend over there that she met in her own country in Mauritania. And basically, she went to her friend, visited the city, and she asked a question to her friend, like, well, I would love to meet indigenous people in your country. I would love to go to the market and talk to them. I've learned Spanish before, so I'm sure that they will be willing to share stories with me. So she went with her friend to the market, starting to look things that she really liked. And she stopped at the store. She saw this lady doing her own thing, clothing, and she was amazed about the patterns that she made. So she came to her and said, me gustaría comprar esta ropa. Este vestido es muy bonito. I would love to buy these clothes. It's very beautiful. And hearing her speaking Spanish with almost no accent, she was like, but where are you from? ¿De dónde vienes? ¿De Colombia? ¿De qué país? No. I'm African. I'm from Mauritania. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that in Mauritania people speak Spanish. Wow, long story. I told her, right? So, same thing. She bought the dress, and the lady explained her the legend and the story behind every patterns. And from there, they became best friends. And she was like, interesting. I was able to connect to the Chinese community. I was able to connect with people, indigenous people. I should learn more and go to another adventure. So she decided, again, to go to another story. And she was hearing a lot of things about Canada. Everywhere that she goes, people are like, oh, you should go to Canada, you should go to Toronto. It's very multicultural. So she's like, why not? She decided to move to Toronto in Little Portugal. Do you know where is Little Portugal? It's the west end of Toronto. And most of her neighbors speak Portuguese, a language that she didn't know. So she went to a very Portuguese man bar where they were watching a soccer match with Portugal team. And the guy scored, and luckily the guy who scored was black. So she was in the middle of the bar with those Portuguese guy, and she screamed, isso, jogador de futebol! Ela é meu irmão! They stopped. They were like, what? What did you say? Esse jogador de futebol, ele é meu irmão. They were like, the guy who scored is your brother? Yes. And they were like, oh my God, come here, have a beer with us. Cool, you're your friend, come. And she was like, nice. Obviously, that was a lie, of course. She was not the brother of the guy who scored. She didn't even know his name. She only called her brother. And same thing. So everybody was very festive with her. And it was super easy, I will say easier for her to integrate to a new culture. As everyone who goes to a new country, as everyone who traveled, you got homesick. And this is what happened to the chocolate girl. The chocolate girl got homesick. And she didn't know what to do. Staying in her new country or going back to her family. And one day, she was walking on the street, and the guy was opposite to her, tell her something. Hakuna Matata. Sorry? Hakuna Matata. Oh, yeah, you mean Lion King? No, the guy said to her. He said, I thought that you were from my country, from Tanzania. So what I just said to you is, don't worry. Oh, okay. So she started to, same thing, trying to connect with this new person and learning this new language, which is Swahili, through this guy. She continues. She was like, the more languages she was learning, the more she was craving and willing to learn and willing to meet people. So what happened is, like, obviously, she creates ties and link with people. People from different countries, continents, and cultures. We're calling her chocolate girl. Oh, this is my sister. Oh, this is my aunt. And she also finds someone who became her second mother. And she was willing to learn more about her when she met. So how she met her was a very interesting story too. She went to a meetup to meet new people, right? And this old lady was willing to learn more about the French language. So she heard little sentences about her. She came across and she told her, "Mais madame, si vous voulez, je peux vous expliquer, je peux vous montrer comment apprendre le français." "Oh, you speak French?" "Oui, je parle français. Et si vous voulez, je peux vous aider." Which means, if you're willing to, I can help you to learn the language. And she was so happy seeing that someone else from another country that she never knew before was able and willing to have conversation with her in French. So they started to build this relationship, like once a week, become twice a week, become 3 times a week. And they were seeing each other almost every day, practicing French over the phone, over online lessons, and also outside. And she was that happy that she was not even homesick anymore. What happened to her too is that because she was able to connect to so many people, she became colorblind. She was not able to see colors, but she was seeing human people who were talking Portuguese, Chinese, French, Spanish, Swahili. For her, it was the same. It was not the black guy, the Spanish guy, the Portuguese man. It was human. And through all the languages that she learned, she was able to connect to people and build lives. Finally, she was spending times learning languages, but she forgot to learn her own language. Remember, she was from Mauritania, so one of the languages that she also spoke was Wolof. She was living close to the St. Louis border. And she was able to communicate with other people in other languages, but known her own language. So one day, she went on vacation and met someone on the street who told her something. Rafet na trop, nam nala. She said, "Oh, so you speak my language." And what he said was, "You're beautiful. I miss you. Or I have your nostalgia." So she gave it a try, talked to him over the phone, practicing her Wolof with him. And as those Baobab, those two, they mingle and fall in love. This is the story of the chocolate girl. I have one more question. Why do you think everywhere that she goes, people call her the chocolate girl? Well, chocolate could be sweet and bitter. So that's not the answer. But thank you so much for trying. That's really cool. No, it's simple. Is that she has the same effect as chocolate to people. She creates serotonin to them and make them happier. And this story is my story, but it could be also anybody's story. So every one of you can be a chocolate girl.